Hello everybody and welcome to a list that's been a year in the making. Literally. It's so weird that this year went by so damn quickly. It feels like not too long ago it just started. And then chaos would ensue day after day after goddamn day. But even though it was one hell of a memorable year, I did get to watch and review a lot more anime, and my quest to watch and or review as much anime as I can has become more successful. Of course, I reviewed more this year than last year since I started a little over halfway through 2015. I still got a lot of progress done. Also, do not confuse this list with the best of 2016. No. Not every anime on this list came out this year. This is the anime that I reviewed in 2016. And there were plenty of great ones. And there were a few that I saw that I didn't review, like Big Order and One Punch Man. If you're curious about my thoughts on those, check out the link from my profile on my anime list. Also, these are placed on the list not just based on my original thoughts, but also on how I saw the series as a whole after doing the review. As always, this is entirely my opinion. Please write yours in the comments below, but be nice about it. If you are not, I will delete them. Anyway, these are the top 16 best anime that I reviewed in 2016. See what I did there? Just get to the fucking list. Number 16, Dimension W. We're starting off with a show that actually did come out this year. You can take that however you want. But, even though it's at the bottom, Dimension W was still good enough to beat out almost 20 other series. It had a really solid sci-fi premise of using energy from another dimension to power your own dimension, and the dynamic between Mira and Kyoma was pretty well done and really interesting. The action, as well as the animation, were both really great, the plot progression kept me very interested, and the soundtrack was really good. It's overall a pretty enjoyable series. Number 15. Birdy the Mighty Decoded. While some of you might write this one off as being a bad sci-fi just at your first glance, if you watch at least the first episode, you can see that this anime has a lot of things going for it, which is why I had such a good time watching both seasons. Birdy and Tsutomu were both very fun and likable characters that had a well-written friendship with playful and fun banter. The action scenes were fluid, fast-paced, very well animated, and super enjoyable. The story was pretty interesting, and the setup of these two sharing a body was well explored and allowed for some really great moments. It's also more emotional than you would have expected. If you write this one off just because of how it looks, you're doing yourself a disservice, because it's actually really good. Number 14. Eden of the East. I sure do love a good mystery, and this anime had a pretty great one. While not exactly a thriller, it has a very thriller-esque story, which I really enjoy because it keeps it all going at a good pace, and Eden of the East did have a good pace. It also had good and likable characters that you wanted to see make it out of the mess, which kept it interesting and kept your attention. While it might be a bit somber and slow for its kind of story, it does have intense moments that made me do a lot of guessing and worrying. And that means it was definitely doing something right. In fact, it did a lot of things right, because it was really good. Number 13. Drifters. While, admittedly, this series doesn't have as much substance as most of the other ones that I've already talked about, I can't deny how enjoyable it is. The same people that gave us Hellsing Ultimate gave us Drifters, and it's just as gory and dark as that series, while still sprinkling in lighter moments so it's not a drag fest of edge. Using historical characters seems cheap, but these guys are memorable and weird enough, being pushed to a bit more extremes than they're historically known for. The animation looks great combined with the fight scenes, it's a nice setup, the opening and the song that accompanies it are both fantastic, and it all comes together in a series that I really enjoyed more than I had hoped I would. Number 12. Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans. I'll be honest, this probably isn't the best Gundam series out there, but I did really enjoy it for what it was. Like I said in my review, this felt like all Noah.0 done right. The setup was very good, the characters, especially Mikazuki, were pretty good and entertaining, the action and mech fights were dynamic, interesting, and compelling, the dramatic elements worked quite well, and the pacing was pretty great. There were some really powerful emotions being weaved throughout the action. And I can't wait for Season 2 to be dubbed so I can see more of this world and these characters. Overall, I definitely recommend checking this one out. Number 11. Toradora. I'll be honest, what I said in my review was that so far it wasn't as amazing as everyone said it was, is something I still agree with after finishing the series. However, I can say that it gets much, much better as it continues. The characters evolve and grow their relationships and find out just who they are, which is really effective. The drama and emotions are great and powerful. The comedy is very enjoyable, entertaining, and works rather well. And the romance is great, as the characters actually feel connected to each other. So even though Toradora isn't my favorite romance anime, it's still pretty damn good. Number 10. Samurai Champloo. Badass sword fights, a hip-hop soundtrack, and historical inaccuracies. That is Samurai Champloo, and it's awesome. It's very episodic, so there really isn't a need or a rush to watch everything in a day or a few days. You can just go by at your own pace and watch the crazy antics our heroes find themselves in. The characters are very enjoyable and diverse, so they stick out and provide a great amount of entertainment. Whether they're getting into well-animated and awesome sword fights, having some comedic bantering, or just trying to get a bite to eat, watching the heroes of Samurai Champloo is a really great time. Number 9. Yona of the Dawn. As I said in my review of Grimgar, fantasies are awesome. And while Grimgar was good, it honestly does not compare to Yona of the Dawn. This was a much better character-driven show that had so many great elements to it. The characters as a whole were fantastic. Their banter and motivations and backstories helped flesh them out, and the fighting that they got into was awesome, with some great animation to give it an extra kick. It even made a character that showed up near the end interesting. While the story was alright, all of the other elements helped rise it up and make it very enjoyable, and definitely something that I recommend. Number 8. Orange. Drama and anime can often mix together so very well, and from this pairing, we can either get some really great dramatic series or really great dramatic arcs. And Orange is a new entry that I think is a really great dramatic series. As I said in my review, I'm a big fan of the concept. I think it's being very well executed. And it's got great characters for a character-driven anime. All the characters I wasn't too into when I did my review actually ended up winning me over very quickly. They also have great relationships between them. I think it's very believable. The pacing was just the right amount of slow, and it kept me guessing on what would happen next. It was also nice to see the difference between the past and the future. I haven't finished it yet, but from what I've seen thus far, made me want to put it this high on the list. I really recommend Orange if you want a good dramatic series. Number 7. Blue Exorcist. Sometimes, when somebody or many somebodies recommend a super popular anime to me, I can get severely disappointed, like I did with Attack on Titan, or I end up loving the hell out of it, like One Punch Man. For Blue Exorcist, it was the latter, because damn, it is really good. Its very solid story/setup really help lifts it off the ground, and the really good characters and animation keep it suspended in its state of greatness. The action is exhilarating and entertaining. The characters are super fun and really good, especially during comedic or dramatic moments. The pacing was very good, the character and monster designs are interesting, and it was definitely a blast to watch from beginning to end. Number 6. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I had heard so much about this show and seen bits of it before, and my first thought was always, wow, that looks really fucking weird. So I eventually got enough requests from a friend to decide to just check it out. And man, am I happy that I did, because it is so good. First of all, the style is so awesome. You cannot mistake it for anything else. You see it and you automatically say, oh, that's JoJo. Second, there is so much craziness and over-the-topness to this anime that I was practically guaranteed to enjoy it. The characters are almost all memorable and fun, especially Joseph in Part 2. He was definitely my favorite. Check this anime out if you haven't already. Number 5. Assassination Classroom. Probably the biggest strength of the show was just how weird and insane it was, especially with its comedy and some of its imagery. It was just off the walls crazy. The premise of trying to kill an alien teacher bent on destroying the world is completely nuts, and I love it. The characters are memorable and fun, especially Koro-sensei. The comedy works so well because of just how insane it is. The animation style is very distinct and interesting, and the anime just works so well as a very entertaining comedy. Number 4. No Game, No Life. I was very happy to have my expectations thoroughly exceeded when I watched this anime, because goddamn if it isn't a complete blast to watch. It is so fucking funny, with characters working off of each other so well, and the comedic timing just being excellent, as well as the characters themselves already having funny relationships and personalities to top it off. The color scheme looks vibrant and beautiful, and the animation is really great. The games and the way our heroes win are interesting and very enjoyable. The jokes are top-notch, and overall, the anime is just so damn fun to watch, more so than Assassination Classroom. Number 3. My Hero Academia. I don't know if there are many superhero anime, but if you're a big superhero junkie, you're doing yourself a disservice by not watching this show, because it is fantastic. First of all, the characters are really great. Izuku, while having many moments of being a coward, is still enjoyable with how determined he is, and how he can overcome his fears. All Might is just fantastic. Every solitary second he is on screen is enjoyable as hell. He was my favorite character and I love the guy. Uraraka, Lita, Bakugo, these characters are great too, and the fighting is so damn awesome with great animation and a great soundtrack to boot. Seriously, check this anime out as soon as you can. Number 2. Steins Gate. Honestly, when people told me that Steins Gate was good, I didn't expect it to be this good. But damn, this show was completely enthralling from beginning to end. So many elements just come together and work so perfectly. The characters are likable, identifiable, and you want them to succeed and make it out of this mess. The thriller elements and dramatic reveals are extremely effective and keep the interest in the show very strong. The plot/setup is very interesting and well done, and it's just so exciting throughout the entire runtime. It's so good. I wanted more and more and more, and no more and more. I just wanted more of the show. The twists and turns kept me guessing, and it's definitely one of the greatest animes I've ever seen. There was a lot of competition for this list, so let's see what anime were still really good but just didn't make it, with some honorable mentions. We got K, Blood Blockade Battlefront, Izetta the Last Witch, Psychopaths, Is This a Zombie?, Bento, Yermungand, and Tales of Zestiria, the X. Number 1. Snow White with the Red Hair. This anime has risen to be my third favorite anime ever, because it is just so damn good. The most important part of a romance is the characters and their relations, and this anime just completely nails it. Zen and Shirayuki are both fantastic characters, and their relationship feels alive and dynamic. They help each other out. They don't just say they love each other all the time. It's explored very well, and both characters evolve from the experience. And other characters like Kiki, Mitsuhide, and Obi are also very fun and interesting. The show can be so calming and sweet, but also dynamic and fast-paced. But, like I said, the biggest plus of this show is the relationship of Zen and Shirayuki. If you like romance shows or romance anime, you should really check this one out. I highly recommend it. So, that was the top 16 best anime that I've seen in 2016. If you guys enjoyed this video, please go ahead and make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out my other videos. Tell me what anime that you saw this year that you really liked. Check out my supporters, all that great stuff, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.